Hello everybody, welcome to the 6th tutorial in the series Learning Bash through Scripting. This is called Wheels, and in the last tutorial we went over creating functions and the case statement. In this tutorial we're going over populating the menu function and the while loop. Well, since we're going to have a lot of copying and pasting and indenting blocks, we're upgrading the text editor we're using. It's not Nano anymore. It's one of my favorite text editors, which is Sublime Text. Sublime Text doesn't... Okay, that's done. And well, Sublime Text is one of my favorite text editors. It doesn't come pre-installed with Linux, however. You have to install it from the internet yourself. It's really simple, easy to use, and really rich in matters of syntax coloring and auto-completion. So, we're going to make a while loop here, while true, do, and let's go here and type done. Let's go here and indent that block a bit. Good. And what this does is, while true means infinitely do what's inside the while loop. So this will happen infinitely many times as long as we, or until we break the while loop with some code, which makes this not infinite. Well, I'd like to demonstrate this by, well, let's remove the brackets since you can do this. While true, do, read-p, enter the correct name. Or first, let me create a variable name and give it a value of Martin. And while true, do, read-p, enter the correct name, and we are done. Now this program is faulty since, well, if we enter the correct name, it says Martin. Well, maybe it's Joan, maybe it's anything. It doesn't really work. This is because while true, we are doing this, so we're doing this infinitely whatever the name was. To make a condition here, we say, well, while, let me do this, while name, while the name variable is not equal to, for example, called wheels, then do the following. Read-p, enter the correct name. And the name variable here, we also missed that in the first while loop, but it didn't really matter what the name was because it was while true. You always print enter the correct name. We're done. It says enter the correct name, and well, maybe it's Joan, maybe it's Martin, maybe it's Goldman. No, but if we enter cold wheels, the loop stops because name is now equal to cold wheels and the expression is not anymore true. And well, here we say it's while true, so always do this, always do this case statements. And well, this is faulty since we'll be stuck in a infinite loop. So if we bash club5.bash and it says please choose a number and we enter 1, it infinitely prints this is the register member function. And we have to break this as long as the choice is valid. So well, if we choose 1, that's a valid choice, and we break the while loop. Break means exit out of the while loop. If we choose access a member, that's a valid option, and we break out of the while loop. And we break here since that's a valid, and we don't have to break here then since the program already exits. That's the most huge break you'll have in a program, which is the exit. And if we type 1, it only says this is register function, and since we break, it doesn't execute this anymore. 2, 3, and if we quit, it already quits. And what if we choose 5? It prints the menu. What if we choose anything else, not in 1 to 9, 10, it prints I've already printed the menu, which is calling the menu function infinitely. Now let's make this menu function really useful. Well, we'll take this, Control C, and add this here, and then that. And what this does, well, it will print this, and then it will read the choice again until you put a valid choice in there. However, if we try to execute this program and we choose something different, for example a 20, it says please choose a number. If we choose 1, it says this is the register function. And well, 92, 2, this is the access function, and the program is fixed. Since this will read the name, and then as long as it reads the menu, the while loop will go again to the next iteration and say, well, the choice is valid. It will read the choice. If the choice is 1, then it will break, and if choice is 2, then it will break. If choice is 3, then it will break, and if choice is from 4 to 9, it will exit. And if it's not from 1 to 9, then it will invoke the menu one more time, since it loops infinitely until you have a valid choice. And that's about the true loop, and that's about populating the menu function, so that you always print the menu until you get a valid choice. So that's it for the tutorial. You learned today the while loop and the populating one function to see how things go with functions, and it really makes your code more readable, since, well, here he invokes the menu. Let's see, well, the menu does blah blah blah. But if we had written this code inside the while loop would have become messy, since it has a nested case loop. This is called nesting, when you have a loop inside a loop, or a loop inside a statement, or a statement inside a loop. It's really a block inside a block anyway. So this is called nesting, especially when you have nesting and then you instead of typing the menu function, you type all of this. Well, it doesn't really make things cool. It really makes things hard to track. And especially when you have a large program, you want to divide it into functions and call this function whenever possible, instead of writing a lot of code in one place and then trying to find what this code does. You have a function that already says, well, check here the code if you want to know what this function does. And this is all for the tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed it, and we're really going not far in the bash, but we're also not in the beginning. We're really, well, you can call it the middle spot, and learning how to make functions is a really interesting thing of bash. Learning how to read, learning how to make while loops, and in the next tutorial we'll see some other loops like the for and until. And until the next tutorial, guys, see you later.